Hey everybody, it's Jamin Jamie here from Jamin Leather, and today I've got a couple of interesting topics to talk about, and one of them is about real leather and what it's all about. So what I'm going to talk about today is the differences in the different type of leathers, and I'm going to show you the natural skins because we manufacture some of the items here. So we use a lot of skins, and I want to share that with you. And what I'm holding right here is a premium lambskin leather. Now, there's some of the factors that I'm sharing with you now, is so you can see exactly how the item falls, how it feels, how it falls on your body. So this is going to be important when you're wearing leather apparel. You want to know kind of how it feels and if it's a little bit on the stiff side or it's nice and soft. Like this here, this is a soft lambskin leather. A lambskin and sheepskin are virtually the same, and they actually have the same tanning process. So you won't see a big difference between sheepskin and lambskin, but this is a very spongy feel on this particular kind of leather. And if you want to know more about leather, this is the time to stay with us and we'll check that out. So now, lambskin is real important. Now, lambskin is on your lighter weight leathers, but it is a little bit more, a little less durable, let's put it that way. And if it's less durable, it has a chance to tear if you get caught on a barbed wire fence or something like that. Not like you're climbing over one, but there's a possibility to get caught on a doorknob and something like that can happen. And you can actually tear lambskin a lot easier than you can with the other hides that we're going to talk about. And I'll show you that too. So like I said, lambskin is a really nice leather. It's your most comfortable and probably the most premium and a little bit more premium price. Now, sometimes you can get cheaper lambskin, but there is different grades, and this is more of your premium grade lambskin leather, just so you can see what that looks like. This one here is cowhide, and this is what we use. This is our garment. This is our heavier garment cowhide type piece, and this is used more for our accessories and our bags. And as you can see, it's a little bit on the back side of your leather. It's usually a little bit more of a suede type of process, and also a finished leather. And sometimes with cowhide, you can't see it here on this one because this is a pretty premium skin here, and it does have the tendency to show a little bit more grain. You can see the grain sometimes if there's bug bites, sometimes if there's scars from the barbed wire fences that the cows are housed in. You want to make sure that you can see some of that. Now, that's the natural grain of the leather. Premium leathers will have less scars on them, and then your less expensive ones could possibly have more. One of the things you need to know about cowhide, that it's much more durable, and so it's a premium skin. Now, cowhide and buffalo is virtually the same. I was going to bring a sample of the buffalo, but I forgot to. But the buffalo leather has a little bit more noticeable grain in it. It's a little more of a spidery grain in it, and it's a little bit more noticeable. Sometimes it's not noticeable. That's why a lot of the cowhides and buffaloes are indistinguishably the same, and sometimes you'll see them for the same exact price for the same quality of goods. So it really doesn't matter if it's cowhide or buffalo, but it is definitely sometimes a little bit more grainy on the buffalo versions. It always comes off the animal pretty thick, and then it's split into one or two times in order to get a couple of different layers. Layers are split. The two bottom layers will be split. The only one with the top grain where the hair was is the top grain. And so literally what it is. And so you can actually make more things out of one skin, and you almost get 2 or 3 skins out of every hide. So that's what happens with the split. Now, the split is actually printed. Very often you'll see how real inexpensive chaps and things like that, they're made a split. Nothing wrong with it. It's just as durable as the top grain, but it is a little less expensive because they're printing over it. They're putting a coating on the top, nothing plastic, just a coating on the top to make it look like it's top grain. So that's really the difference between what split really is. So buffalo and cowhide are virtually the same. They look the same. They feel the same. They can be tanned the same. The quality can be the same. We have naked buffalo and we have naked cowhide. We don't call it naked in our description. We use the words. Do you remember the words?
Ultra premium.
We use ultra premium as our words on our website. If you see the ultra premium, it is definitely a naked leather, which is what's naturally called, because naked needs to have no bug bites, no scars, no scratches on it. This is more of a naked lambskin is what this is, but it has no scars on it whatsoever. So you know that it's the best top grain you can get, and they put less finishes on it. So it's a little bit more natural feeling and a little bit more soft, buttery, real nice. Now, another version of cowhide, we got it right here, is a little bit heavier one. This one here, we'll make some heavier garments out of, as you can see here. I got a pretty big piece here because obviously natural skin, they come in different thicknesses, and this one's pretty heavy. Now this one we'll use for more of your pouches and stuff like that. We have a lot of accessories that we'll make these out of. We got hair wraps and things like that as well. As you can see, the backside is a little bit more of a suede type of thing, and then you've got the full grain. Now this one here, you can actually see a little bit more of maybe the scarring. Let's see if you can actually make it out. You see a little bit more grain. This part of the skin here is probably a leg. Now we're talking about heavy leather. This is the stuff that the belts are made out of. You can see the thickness of that. You can see how thick that is. That's because we use the belting leather. And this part we actually straightened out with a knife, and we cut it down so we can make our belts out, our straps out of. As you can see, the natural shape of the outside of the skin, and this is more of a shoulder or a back or a butt of the skin, which is actually a better part of the skin. So it makes it a long-lasting piece there. But this is the heavier leather that we do, and just let me show you. Let's see here. There we go. Now, when you talk about natural leather, this is natural leather. This comes in. This is looks like a shoulder. Looks like the shoulder of the skin. Shoulder of the skin gives it a little bit closer to the neckline over here, and then it comes down where the legs were actually cut off on this particular piece, because this premium part of the skin is what most of the products are made out of, because your outside parts, outside closer to the edges or the stuff they've cut off, that's the accessories they use for incidental things. Obviously, when it's on this cowhide, it's off the animal, it's usually pretty thick, and it's usually sueded on the back when they buff it, but this is not buffed yet because obviously it's not being made for suede, it's being made for belts. That's what this is for. So this is the leather that they're using for tooling leather. If you've seen tooled leather, you see it has a little embossing in it. This actually, when it gets wet, it dents easily, so it gives you a chance to make designs. And then what they do with the designs, they'll antique it. If you look on Etsy, you'll see a lot of people doing craft stuff with the heavy leathers such as this. As you can see here, I did a lot of tooling. I had a stencil design out, and I cut it and I made it a little interesting. So this is what I did for my mom a long time ago. Then we did some flower design on the inside. JK was her initials. So there we go. Really, really nice. It was made in about 1974, maybe 75. Okay, I'll take 76. But either way, it's a long time ago. Thank you, Ryan. In order to make suede is usually the backside here. But sometimes they'll take this off the animal. It comes a little bit thicker than this, and they'll slice it in half. So when they slice it in half flat-wise, they get a piece of suede or split leather with top grain on one piece, and the other piece is all suede. So that's what happens when you have suede. Here's an example of suede. This is a skin that we make, some of the products here. And what I was saying was the suede is when they split it in half, the thickness of it, you get two sides. This one's two-sided suede because they buffed both sides. Now, if they leave one side, then you got what's called top grain, and this is the split on the inside. Splits turns into suede when it's buffed, but it's called split if it's not buffed, because sometimes they'll take the split and they'll put a coating on it, and they'll make it look like and feel like top grain leather. It's not, but it's a lot more economical to be able to buy a split leather item because it's cheaper than buying top grain. Top grain is a little more expensive. Now, sometimes you can get two pieces of suede out of every skin. They use a lot of the split leathers in your economically priced leather shoes. That's a common item that they'll use the split leather with. They'll put a finish on it, and they'll make it look like top grain. But once you wear it for a while, it starts showing its fur. But that's what suede is. So this is a lambskin that's printed with a snakeskin pattern. Nothing wrong with that. It just looks like the real snakeskin, but it's genuine leather, and it's something that we have to make some halters out of this, and thongs and a few other things. Really, really cute. So if you want something a little more interesting, but still want the quality of leather, this is definitely one to consider that we actually have both. So we have a lot of different items. Now, real snakeskin would never come in a skin like that. It would be more like this section here would be the skin that you actually get off the snake. So you can make more interesting things out of a piece of lambskin that's got printing on it. It's really cool. So that's an example. If you got a bad skin, it's got the scars and the bug bites on it, like I was saying earlier, What can happen is they'll put it to a mill and they'll print it, not only put an embossing in it, but they'll print over it, and you'll never know that there's scuffs and scratches on it at all.